If you own a property in the UK, this video is for you, especially if you're thinking about maybe moving in 2024. We're going to give you our forecast, but also the forecast of Zoopla, Rightmove, Nationwide, Halifax, so that you can get a real spectrum of what people are saying about property prices in 2024. 2023, what a year, Mike.
Yeah, started badly,
It did.
ended positively.
It did, yeah.
To summarise.
Football analogy, game of two halves.
Yeah, very much so. Game of two halves.
Yeah, I would say there was some real fear factor pricing, fear mongering going on with the press at the start of the year. And if you actually watch the video of this, of me walking around talking about what may come in 2023, one of the key points was just watch out for what the media are sort of selling you effectively, because that's what it feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah, they were selling absolute mortgage Armageddon at the beginning of the year.
Which we're not going to do today.
No.
But we are going to give you some valuable information, and we'll also give you some tips if you're thinking of moving in 2024 as well, and give you a little bit of our take on what we think is going to happen with the market. Why listen to us? We've both done the job for 20 years. We've seen up markets, down markets. We've seen this type of market.
Yep.
And 20 years each of doing the job, from an investing point of view, from a selling point of view, from a buying point of view. We've got a bit of an understanding of what's going to come next year. So hopefully that will help some people. But what were the top 4 predictors of the market saying for 2024 on numbers, Mike?
Okay. Big boys Rightmove are predicting a 1% drop in prices next year.
Okay.
Second biggest boy in the portal market, Zoopla, predicting a 2% drop. And then the biggest lenders, Halifax and Nationwide. Halifax between 2 and 4. They haven't put stuck their colours on the mast quite with that one.
Yeah.
And Nationwide a little bit more vague with a low single digit price drop. So I'm taking that to be anything between 1% and 5%.
Pretty much, yeah. And if we were the media and we were jazzing up for clickbait, we would say Rightmove predict, or we would say Halifax predict 400% more price drop than Rightmove, or something like that. So it's easy to play with those numbers. But the facts for 2023, you looked at the stats for November to November, I believe, for our Landlord podcast.
Most recent stats from the ONS, which is the Office of National Statistics.
Yeah.
So it's where the government get their stats from. So it's the highest power possible. House prices in the southeast have dropped in 2023, or between November 2022 and November 2023, by 1.4%.
Okay. And I think it's key to highlight that low number was highlighted to be between 15 and 20% drop this year. If you went back,
I saw as much as 30.
30, yeah.
Imagine.
I saw some clown on TikTok saying 30%.
He was that clown on TikTok.
He was the same clown.
Yeah.
Don't listen to that clown. But what's interesting is that kind of 1.5, 1.4, even if it's 2% land registry reduction, I actually potentially feel it wasn't enough based on the price increase we saw as the back of COVID. But we won't get stuck into that on this video. The first thing that I would highlight for anyone that's thinking of selling in 2024, starting to talk to estate agents in January, watch out for the number one thing that estate agents do at the start of the year. They get the reputation for it. I'm not here to slag off the industry, but I just want people to be aware of it when they're sat there with 3 or 4 different estate agents in their living room. They all over
price,
and then they all try and lock you in for a long contract.
Yes.
So that is their way of winning business. Why do they do it? Because November and December are their low stock levels for new listings.
Yeah, their directors are absolutely on at them to list everything.
Yeah.
Get it on, get it reduced, get it sold. The mantra of the corporate estate agent.
We were talking to one of the avocado partners just yesterday evening, actually, before recording this video. And we were kind of reminiscing on what, used to happen in the old days where we were a sort of corporate and independent company. And he said he actually spoke to someone about 2 weeks ago, and that was the market tactic that they still had. Get 10 on, get 10 down. Down as in price. And that's not how we do things, but it's definitely what the public just need to be aware of. Don't sign those crazy 4-month contracts in the early part of 2024. So for buyers then, if you're selling and you're thinking, right, what type of buyer am I going to get? How am I going to get a buyer? The number one tip that I would personally give, and I'll ask yours in a second, but go with your gut on your pricing. Don't kind of get sold. I know we've just said that, but go with your gut on what you think your property is worth. Listen to the advice of estate agents, but don't get caught up in this competitive edge to think, right, if I try a little bit more, I can always drop it. This is not the market for that game. You've got to price right from day one. There is a strategy that you can put in place where you can price a test price on social media before the portals, which won't actually impact your portal kind of status, if you like, because we can all look through Rightmove and see the ones that have been reduced because it says when it was reduced. If you don't want that to be the case in the first month of marketing, try it on socials with an agent that's got a strong social media following. Could be pink with avocados on hoodies. But if not, try it on socials first and then do that. What would be your kind of number one tip for people that are thinking of upsizing, downsizing, relocating 2024 for sellers?
Well, on that side of things, I'm analytical, as you know, so I'm looking at the stats first. So if an agent comes to my house and gives me a price, I'm going to ask them to justify that price with facts, not their impression of things. So if they tell me my house is worth £850,000 and nothing in my road has sold for over £750,000, I'm looking for evidence to back up why they think my house is worth that before I pop the champagne cork.
Yeah. You don't want to almost make those forwarding plans thinking, right, if I've got this amount of equity to play with, I can buy this type of property, fall in love with your Rightmove shortlist, and actually it turns out it's 50 grand the wrong way or something like that. So very, very important. So 2024, some of these, different portals and banks are saying -1%. We're lucky where we are, the south of England. It plays a different game to probably the rest of the country, Wales, Scotland, Midlands and up north. Even some of the other areas, kind of Devon direction and things like that as well. It plays a different game. But what do you think will be the kind of rollout for the first and second half of 2024? What do you think we're expecting to see with the market for estate agents? Transactions, mortgage rates? How long is it going to take to sell a property that is priced right and marketed well? What's your kind of thoughts, Q1, Q2 of next year?
Yeah, I think January is going to be an absolute bonanza because mortgage rates are going to come down. And I'm not a mortgage broker. I'm not here to give advice, but mortgage rates are going to come down in January.
And
that's my prediction.
Week after week at the moment.
It's coming down week after week, and there's going to be an all-out battle for people's business in January because mortgage lenders haven't lent enough money in 2023, and they'll look to make that up next year. Swap rates coming down, mortgage rates coming down. It's great for customers. What normally plays out in the housing market is a lot of people make decisions over Christmas and New Year, or they get some money from parents, or in some negative cases get divorced. But what normally plays out is the first properties to come to market in the new year are smaller properties where people are looking to move from a 1-bed to a 2-bed or a 2-bed starter home up to a 3-4 bedroom house. And it just takes a bit of time for things to move on until you hit that hot summer market where those people in 3-beds have sold their 3-beds and are now looking to move to the end goal family houses, and chains are connected, which means a lot of people move from July, August on through to the second half of the year. Do you think that's going to be the truth next year, how it normally plays out, or do you think we're going to see something different?
Well, I think we haven't seen it for the last couple of years, have we? Because of what's gone on, it's been so different. But I think normality is what we sort of almost forecasted it at the start of 2023, that we would see a bit more of a normal seasonal market in 2023. We did. In the summer months, it was a bit quieter. After Easter, it picked up. October and September saw higher listings. We've just seen buyer activity improve kind of month on month, unless it was summer holidays, Easter holidays and things like that. So I think we're expecting to see something similar. I think there'll be less transactions happening again. We know that because of the stamp duty holiday. That meant that in 2023, there was 15-20% less people that moved home, maybe 10%, 8%, 12%, something like that in 2024. And that just means that there might be a little bit less stuff going on, but that doesn't impact buyers or sellers.
No.
That just impacts the businesses that work in the property market. So no one has to worry about that. Other than
and let's be clear. Anyone saying the housing market is in trouble because there's less transactions has got a shorter memory than a goldfish.
Yeah.
Because the reason for a low transaction year in 2023 is purely down to the stamp duty holiday 18 months earlier.
Yeah. Everyone just moved their plans forward, and that will just each year change to the point where it gets back to
you
normal.
reap what you sow. If you move twice as many people one year, you get half as many the year after. It's just a fact.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think if you want to sell and you want a slightly less competitive market, then early January will be when that's happening. I think there'll be a lot of buyers looking in early January. No one feels like they've outgrown their house more than the week between Christmas and New Year. That's the moment when everyone goes, we have outgrown this property.
We had 16 people around for Christmas and they couldn't get around the dining table. We must move.
So people make the plans. Don't get fooled into this kind of Boxing Day bonanza type thing that estate agents try and get you to do. Most agents aren't open. It's not really a thing. And Rightmove really becomes active. So does Zoopla and so do estate agents' websites.
Second week of Jan.
Yeah, everyone gets back. They kind of settle into work. And then second week of Jan, the phones start going crazy. Applicant registers, buyer registration goes through the roof in that window. So you can capitalise on that, get a buyer locked in. I think if you do want to do anything, get it done before the Easter break. I always find that is quite a quiet time. And I think there is money out there. A lot of people going on holiday, making plans for Easter. You may have already done that. So that little Easter window, but then after that Easter window, it goes bomb again. So if you're going to do something, January, February, early March, or we're looking kind of mid-April onwards towards the summer. They're the normal seasonal sort of sections to move from. And I'm excited for 2024.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a strong year in context, basically. And I'm not too bought into the media articles of what may happen. But as people in property, as families, as friends with homeowners, I'm quite excited to 2024. What about you?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely cannot wait to walk into 2024. Mortgage rates below 4%. Normality. We've blown over the high, the low, and we're going into what we would see as a predictable time.
Yeah, I've got
famous last words.
I got a remortgage next year, so I am mentally challenging the swap rates to keep dropping myself. I'm right there with you, and I think we should probably just say thank you as
100%.
well, because in a recent week we hit a big milestone since we've opened. We've been so well supported by the public, by people in the industry. Me and you kicked off in a little shoebox office and tried to create this brand and this kind of identity that was totally against the grain. 6 days before lockdown, we had our challenges, but we've now helped how many people complete on their sales properties?
Well, 1,000 properties have completed now under the Avocado brand, which puts over 2,000 families moved.
Yeah, and that is something that we're super proud of. So, thanks to the agents that have helped us with that. Obviously, we've done a fair chunk of that ourselves, hands-on. And thank you to the public that have believed in us. And thank you to the future clients in 2024 that watch this video and think, I'm going to get these guys around to try and help me sell their home. So, hope everyone had a brilliant Christmas, New Year, and we'll see you in 2024.